It was a night that left Rangers fans heartbroken. The dream of European glory came to a painful end as the team failed to secure a positive result against Athletic Bilbao. The defeat not only meant elimination from the Europa League, but also the bitter realization that there would be no silverware this season. The hopes that had been building up the belief that maybe this could be the year were all crushed under the lights of the Basque Country. It's a tough pill to swallow for a club with such rich traditions and sky-high expectations. The atmosphere was electric, the stakes high, and yet when it mattered most, Rangers couldn't rise to the occasion, while emotions were still raw from. The result attention quickly shifted to the growing noise surrounding the future of the club, particularly the potential takeover by 49ers Enterprises, the investment arm of the San Francisco 49ers NFL franchise. It's a development that has stirred a mixture of anticipation and anxiety among the Ibrox faithful. But before diving into the off-pitch drama, there's still plenty to talk about from the footballing side, starting with the current coaching situation. Club captain James Tavernier made headlines with a strong endorsement of interim boss Barry Ferguson. Since taking the reins at the end of February following the dismissal of Philippe, Clement Ferguson has breathed new life into a side that looked rudderless. He led Rangers into the quarterfinals of the Europa League, a dramatic 3-2 win over bitter rival Celtic at Parkhead, a result that reignited belief even if only briefly. For Tavernier, Ferguson represents more than just a manager. He's someone who understands the very DNA of the club. The captain praised the discipline and demands Ferguson brought into the dressing room and highlighted the influence of coaching. Partners Neil McCann and Billy Dodds. According to Tavernier, they're a tight-knit group that has brought unity, focus, and energy back to the squad. It's not Tavernier's decision to make, of course, but his words carry weight, especially when considering his long-standing role as leader of this team. His message was clear. He wants Ferguson to stay. Still, Barry himself has remained guarded, giving little away when questioned about taking the job permanently. That uncertainty only adds to the broader sense of limbo that now surrounds the club, especially in the wake of the European exit. The second-leg defeat to Athletic Club highlighted both the team's limitations and the fine margins of European football. Rangers conceded 2 goals, one from Oyhan Sanset and another from the always dangerous Nico Williams. But the real controversy came in the first half. A strong penalty shout was waved away by the referee after what appeared to be a blatant shirt pull inside the box. Tavernier later revealed that the referee admitted there wasn't much in the incident, despite the visible damage to the player's shirt which had been clearly ripped. It's one of those moments that fans will replay in their minds for weeks. Decisions like that change games. They change narratives. And they certainly changed seasons. Ali McCoist, the legend of the club, didn't hold back in his assessment of the situation. Watching from the sidelines, he described the non-call as an absolute embarrassment. He questioned how anyone could look at that play and not see a penalty. Emotions ran high, as they often do in European nights. But for many, this felt like yet another example of Rangers not getting the rub of the green when it mattered most. And as if the loss wasn't enough, there was also some notable off-field symbolism. Rangers wore a different sponsor on the front of their shirts for the match. Instead of the usual branding, the jerseys featured Team Talk, a campaign supported by the Rangers Charity Foundation. The initiative focuses on supporting men's physical and mental well-being through football. John Joyce of the foundation shared a heartfelt message urging any man feeling isolated to get involved with the program. It's a powerful reminder that football clubs can serve as more than just sporting entities. They're lifelines, communities, and safe spaces. But now, all eyes are turning to what could be a historic shift in ownership: the 49ers Enterprises, who already hold a controlling stake in Leeds United, are reportedly closing in on a deal to become majority shareholders of Rangers. Talks began back in March. And while the final paperwork is still being sorted, many believe it's only a matter of time before the announcement becomes official. For a fan base desperate to see their club return to the top, the promise of fresh investment brings hope. Hope that Rangers can finally close the gap on Celtic. Hope that the club can once again compete consistently in Europe. Hope that the Ibrox roar can be heard deep into May, not just in the early rounds. Yet amid all that hope, there are warning signs, particularly from those who understand the soul of Scottish football. Former Aberdeen chief executive Keith Wines voiced concerns that the 49ers may be viewing Rangers as just another business acquisition. According to his sources, the American group is approaching the deal with a corporate mindset, potentially underestimating the cultural, historical, and emotional depth of the club they're about to take charge of. Wines emphasized that Rangers is not just another item in a commercial portfolio. It's a living, breathing institution rooted deeply in Scotland's social fabric and religious divides. For any foreign investor, understanding the nuances of that context is crucial. Wines pointed out that it's not enough to simply visit Ibrox, watch a few games, and meet with executives. You need to immerse yourself in the community. You need to grasp what it means to be a Ranger. The traditions, the rivalries, the history, it's all part of the package, and ignoring it could lead to a serious disconnect between ownership and the people who truly make the club what it is, the fans. That disconnect is what worries many. While the 49ers can undoubtedly bring financial muscle and commercial acumen, will they respect the culture? Will they understand what it means to walk through the tunnel at Ibrox to face Celtic in a derby? To represent a club with over 150 years of turbulent, triumphant, and sometimes tragic history? Will they see Rangers as a badge, a business, or as a beating heart that unites generations? There's no doubt that a deal of this magnitude could redefine the future of Rangers. It could mean new training facilities, enhanced scouting networks, stronger links with Leeds United, and maybe even player pathways crossing the Atlantic. But it could also risk alienating a fan base that demands authenticity, not just success. Their fear is that the club could be steered away from its core identity in favor of glossy branding and market strategies. And that's not something the Ibrox crowd will accept lightly. As the dust settles from the European disappointment and as negotiations off the pitch continue, Rangers stand at a crossroads. One path offers a future of ambition, backed by big money but with uncertain understanding. The other demands patience, tradition, and the kind of leadership that knows every crack in the Ibrox walls. Only time will tell which road the club chooses. There's a strange kind of silence that follows a European exit, a silence filled with frustration unanswered, questions and what-ifs. For Rangers, the defeat to Athletic Club wasn't just the end of a cup run, it was the end of the last real shot at silverware this season. The Scottish Premiership title race now leans heavily in Celtic's favour, and while mathematically nothing is decided yet, there's a palpable sense among supporters that this campaign is slipping through their fingers. That feeling is made all the worse when you remember how much hope there was not so long ago. The win at Parkhead, the fight shown in Europe, Barry Ferguson bringing some grit and spirit back into the squad. It had fans believing again, and if only for a while. But belief alone doesn't win trophies. And in football, momentum can vanish in an instant. It's harsh, but that's the reality. Rangers now find themselves in a position where questions need to be asked. Not just of the players, but of the club's direction as a whole. What kind of identity are we building? Who are the leaders for the long term? And how do we stop history from repeating itself? That brings us back to Barry Ferguson, a man who bleeds blue. He's not the type to shout about his ambitions. When asked if he wants the job permanently, he deflects. He's all about the team, the performance, the next match. But there's no denying that something changed when he stepped into that dugout. The intensity was back. The pride, the hunger. It wasn't perfect, far from it, but it was honest. It felt real. And for a support that's seen too much corporate talk and too little fight in recent years, that matters. Still, the board has a massive decision to make. Do they stick with the former captain who's brought some stability, or do they look elsewhere, maybe abroad, for a more modern option? The answer may well be influenced by the looming arrival of the 49ers Enterprises Group. With the American investors reportedly close to finalizing their majority stake, the direction of the club could shift dramatically in the coming months. And that includes the manager's seat. But here's the thing, no matter who's in charge, no matter how much money is invested, if the identity of Rangers is lost, then it's all for nothing. That's what Keith Wines was getting at when he spoke about his concerns. You can't just walk into Govan with a briefcase full of dollars and expect to understand what this club means. It's deeper than that. Rangers isn't just a business. It's a community, a culture, a defiant spirit that survived financial ruin, institutional failure, and the long road back from the third division. You don't manage Rangers, you carry it. That's what worries people about this takeover. Not the money, that's welcome. Not the ambition. Every supporter wants to see the team compete at the highest level. It's the mindset. Are these American investors coming to build a football legacy? Or are they adding a piece to their sports portfolio? Do they want to be part of the story or just write the checks? We've seen it before with clubs across Europe. Shiny. New owners fancy marketing promises of titles and glory. But if it's not rooted in the club's heritage, it crumbles. Just look at what's happened to some of the project clubs down south. The ones who lost sight of their foundations in pursuit of global branding. Rangers can't afford that. Not after everything this club has been through. The fans won't stand for it. That said, the 49ers have done some good things with Leeds United. They brought in infrastructure, tried to modernize the footballing side, and their presence helped stabilize the club financially. But Leeds and Rangers are very different animals. Leeds is a proud club with history, no doubt, but Rangers is on another level. The scale, the intensity, the expectations, it's relentless. You're not just dealing with football decisions. You're dealing with history, with politics, with identity. That's why it's so crucial that the new owners take the time to understand, to listen, to learn. Because if they do, this could be a golden opportunity. Imagine a Rangers side with the resources to properly challenge in Europe again. A scouting network that spans continents. A development structure that nurtures talent from the academy all the way to the first team. A club that doesn't just speak about ambition but lives it. That's the dream. But dreams don't come cheap and they don't come easy. Meanwhile, the supporters are left in a familiar place. Waiting, hoping, watching every bit of news for updates. It's not just about results anymore. It's about vision, about the future, about whether Rangers will rise again or drift further behind. And in the middle of all this, the players still have matches to play, games that will now be played under the shadow of uncertainty. Will Barry Ferguson still be in the dugout come August? Will key players stay or be sold to fund a rebuild? Will this squad, bruised by another European disappointment, have the character to finish the season strong? And then there's the wider cultural conversation. Wines touched on it, but it goes deeper still. The unique mix of religion, politics, and community that surrounds Rangers can be hard to grasp from the outside. But it's real. It shapes everything. The rivalries, the fan base, the media narrative. It's what makes this club unlike any other. And while some may see that as a challenge, others see it as the heart of what makes Rangers special. So here we are, another season teetering on the edge. Another chapter being written not with certainty, but with questions. Will the 49ers understand what they're buying into? Will the ball back Ferguson? Or look for a continental solution? Will the fans see a plan or another false dawn? Giovanni van Bronckhorst, who once led Rangers to a European final, was recently asked whether he'd consider returning under the new regime. His answer was simple no. For him, that book is closed. Maybe that's symbolic of where the club stands right now, caught between past and future tradition and transformation. And whatever happens next, it needs to be done with care, with respect, with clarity. Because Rangers isn't just chasing trophies, it's chasing purpose. And after everything, after Seville, after Celtic dominance, after another European heartbreak, that purpose needs to be rediscovered. Not by rewriting the club's identity, but by embracing it. The fans will keep singing, the scarves will keep waving, the passion will never die. But the next steps taken by this club will define not just a season, but a generation. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC. Don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. Did Athletic Club field an ineligible player in their European showdown with Rangers? The footballing world is holding its breath, and UEFA may be about to drop a bombshell. What was meant to be a celebrated night of European football might be wiped from the record books. Sources close to UEFA have confirmed that a governing body is actively investigating the eligibility of Nico Williams, who played a crucial role in Athletic Bilbao's 2-1 win over Rangers last night. Allegations have surfaced that Williams was not properly registered for the competition. potentially placing the Basque club in breach of UEFA regulations. While details remain scarce, the stakes couldn't be higher. If confirmed, the consequences could be dramatic, not only for the match result, but for the competition's integrity. Nico Williams, the electric winger, hailed as the future of Spanish football, has had a whirlwind year, winning the Euro 2024 with Spain, dazzling in La Liga, and earning a Ballon d'Or nomination. But now, just days after starring in a dramatic Copa del Rey final, his name is at the center of a bureaucratic storm. Reports suggest a discrepancy in his registration details submitted to UEFA, possibly linked to contract renewal clauses or post-deadline amendments. UEFA's legal department is now combing through documentation submitted by Athletic Bilbao and has already contacted the club's administrators for clarification. The controversy has sent shockwaves through both Glasgow and Bilbao. Rangers, who were eliminated after last night's result, have reportedly filed a formal complaint demanding the match be annulled and potentially awarded in their favor. We expect UEFA to uphold the rules with full transparency, a club insider said. The Ibrox faithful, already frustrated by a season of near misses, are now clinging to a new hope that this twist could see their European journey revived. Meanwhile, Athletic remain tight-lipped, only issuing a short statement claiming they have full confidence in the validity of all registrations. UEFA is expected to deliver a preliminary finding within 48 hours. But already fans across Europe are glued to their screens, waiting for the next chapter of what could become one of the most sensational administrative scandals in recent European football memory. If Williams is found to have been fielded ineligible, the implications won't stop with this match. Questions will be asked about oversight, about the timing of contract renewals, and whether top clubs are being allowed to skirt the rules. One thing is clear, the spotlight is now burning hot over San Mamés, and no one knows exactly what UEFA will do next. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.